In this tutorial, I am going to explain some important properties of CSS. This property of CSS are really essential. At first, I am opening the repository, and here I am using CMD to open the command line interface. Here I am using code dot to open the Visual Studio Code editor. At first, here I am using a div with ID name. I am closing it and I am pasting here a text. You can see the length of this text is very long. So to wrap the content, we should use right click, format document. You can see the text has been wrapped. Now I am saving it. You can see if I refresh it, you can see the content. Enter content occupies the 100% of the width or 100% of the viewport. Now I want to set the height and width of the div. You can see the ID is name. Here I can use hash name. We all know the hash is basically used to identify the ID, and a developer can use like this div.name. So hash name and div.name both are equal. You can see the element is div with the ID name. That is the reason I am writing here div.name. Here I am using width property width 40% and height colon 200 px. I am saving it and refresh the web page. You can see, okay, at present, okay, width 40% and height 200 px. Here I am setting the background color of the div as has 1 2 3 4 5 6. You can see the color. I think I did a mistake here. Div has name. If I refresh it, you can see the div with the content. In earlier case, the div occupies 100% of the width of the viewport, and in this case it is occupying only 40% of the viewport. Now I am using an important property, that is display colon flex. Later I will explain the function of flex. For now you just understood that display flex is basically used to set all the contents or all the elements in a line or in a row. Here I am using two important property. First is justify content. Justify content is used to set the content horizontally center. Here I am using center, and I am using another property, that is align items. I am setting align items as center. I am saving it and refresh the web page. You can see the content is horizontally and vertically centered. Now the next property is, okay, here you can see the alignment of text is not center. To set the alignment of text into center, we have to use text align property. Here I am using text align colon center. You can see, if I refresh it, you can see at present the text align of the content is left. If I refresh, you can see the text align is center now. If a front-end developer use right in replace of center, you can see the content is shifted to right. So text align property is basically used to set the content, set the alignment of a content into left, center or right. Now the next property I will discuss is box shadow. Box shadow, the function of box shadow is similar to function of text shadow. Box shadow, you can see the first argument I am using 2px and 2px. If I save it and refresh the web page, you can see the shadow color. By default color is black. Now a developer can change the color by specifying the color. You can see color is red. So 2px is for horizontal shadow, 2px is for vertical shadow, and red is the specified color. Here I am changing the horizontal shadow size. I am changing it to 5 and 5, and here I am using 1px as blur effect. If I refresh it, you can see the blur effect is 1px. Now I am using blur effect 7px. Now you can understand the effect of blur. Okay, so here in this tutorial I explained important properties of CSS like width, height, display, justify content, align items, box shadow. And remember, justify content is used to make the content horizontally centered, and align items is used to make the content vertically centered. And in both cases, display flag should be used. Display flag is used to make all the elements of a container, means of a div or of a UL, into a line. Okay, now time to explain another property, that is white spacing. In this case, I am copying only this line, copying it and pasting here multiple times. Okay, here in style I just commenting it, I am saving it and refresh the web page. You can see the output. A developer can use hash name. Hash is basically used to identify the ID, and name is the name of the ID. A developer can use like this because the basic element is div. So in that case, a developer can write div hash name. To specify, suppose you have multiple divs in your HTML file. So in that case, to identify the specific div, a developer should use like this, div hash name. Suppose it is class, then developer should use div dot name. Here I am using font size colon 1.5 em semicolon. I am saving it and refresh it. You can see it is working. So a developer can either use dot name. We all know dot is basically used to identify the class, and a developer can use div dot name because div is the basic element. If the element is p, then developer should use p.name. Okay, here I am using, if I save it and refresh it, you can see the output. Here I am using color colon green and save it, you can see the color is green. Now I am using white spacing. What is the function of white spacing? In case of output, you can see the wrapped portion of a text. That's been wrapped text. But if a developer needs unwrapped text, then a developer should use white space, no wrap. In case of no wrap, if I refresh it, you can see the entire text is visible in one line. If developer use normal in replace of no wrap, then it will give the default output. Okay. Now the next property is pre-wrap. In case of pre-wrap, if I refresh it, you can see the way I have written here, the same way it will show in output section. I think you all know the function of pre. Function of pre, you can see there are spaces. The same way it is showing here. If I remove the spaces from here, if I save it and refresh it, you can see the same way the output is showing in web page. Now I am using another value of white space, that is pre-line. You can see in case of pre-line, the spaces are truncated. You can see in each and every line there are multiple spaces. If a developer use pre-line value as white space, then these spaces will be erased or spaces will be truncated. Now I am using another white space value, simple pre. If I refresh it, you can see pre-wrap and pre, in both case output is more or less same. The next property is display property. Remember, display property is a very, very important property if you want to make an web page. Now I am going to explain you the display property. Here I am using a P with class exam. That's mean the short form of example. I am using content developer. Here I am setting div id div dot name and within div I have a P, class example. Here I am setting color colon blue and font size 2em. Look at the syntax. You can see the div here. Within div there is a P. That is the reason I have used div P here. Here you can see it is a div. Div has a class. The name of the class is name. That is the reason I have used div.name. Now I am saving it and refresh the web page. Okay, it is not working. Why it is not working? Okay, I have not saved it. I am saving it. Okay, you can see the front-end developer here. Now I am using display here. Here you can see the class is exam. At first I am using dot exam because we all know dot is basically used to identify a class. That is the reason dot should be used before the identifier. Here I am using display colon none. What is the function of display colon none? If a developer uses display colon none, then that element or object will not be visible in output. Here I am refresh it. You can see the front-end developer is not showing in web page. Now I am using another value of display inline. What is the function of display inline? If a developer uses display inline, it will show in a line. If I refresh it, you can see, okay, I think there is a problem. Here I am using 1em and here I am using NOWRAP. I think there is a problem, and save it. Here I have used p element. The function of p element, it will show a paragraph, but in that case I have used display inline. So display inline means the entire content or the front-end developer should show in a line. I look at the output, you can see the front-end developer is showing in a line. Now the next value is block. In case of inline display, it is showing in a line, but in case of block, it will show in a block. That means it will come to next line. If I save it and refresh it, you can see the front-end developer has come into a next line. We all know in HTML div PR block level element. By the same way, if you want to display a content into a block, in that case display block should be used. Here I am using another value of display property, that is inline block. What is the function of inline block? At first you can see that this is inline. Inline means the entire content will be displayed in a line, but you can see the front-end developer will be displayed in a line. If I save it and refresh it, you can see it is displayed in a line, but the front-end developer is within a block. That is the function of inline block. So what is the function of inline block? In case of inline block, the content will be displayed in a line, but the content is in a block. Okay, so I have explained the display property of CSS. Now the next property is vertical align. Here I am deleting the entire div, saving it. I am also deleting the entire div. Now to explain the vertical align, I am using div a image of. Here I am using an image source smile.png width 9, height 9, an image of emoji is width auto vertical align full stop. I am saving it ID. I am setting ID A. Save it. In case of style, I am setting hash A. Vertical align auto. If I save it and refresh it, you can see the image of emoji is with auto vertical align. Now if I copy it and paste after this, here I am setting ID B. Save it. Here I am copying it. Super means superscript. If I refresh it, sorry, I did a mistake. Here the ID will be B. Refresh it, you can see the emoji. Okay, do one thing. I am just increasing the value of it. I am setting 12 and 12. Here I am also setting 12 and 12. I am saving it and refresh it. You can see by default the vertical align is auto. The next vertical align is superscript. Now I am copying it and pasting once again. I am setting the ID as C. I am saving it. Here it is super and it is sub. ID C. Okay, sub. Okay, div. I'm saving it and refresh it. Okay, it is working now. Here I am using another div. I am copying it and pasting here, setting ID as D and setting baseline as vertical align. I am saving it and refresh it. You can see. So baseline means by default it is auto, but if you look at the output of baseline, it is slightly up than auto. So in this way, a front-end developer can set the vertical align of all elements. Okay, there are multiple values of vertical align. I have used only 4 values. There are top, middle, bottom, text top. If I use text top here, save it and refresh it, you can see it is slightly up than baseline. If I use text bottom here, you can see slightly down the baseline. Today I am giving you an assignment. Using the properties of CSS, you have to solve this. I am showing you the demo. This is the demo. You need to solve the assignment and you need to send the assignment. This is the assignment. You can see this is a div and this is the text. So this is the end of this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, please press the like button. If you have any query or any questions regarding this tutorial, please comment me. If you have not subscribed my channel till now, please subscribe my channel and spread the tutorial among your friends and colleagues. Thank you.